Comparative to solar energy, wind energy generation is much lesser. We use two technology for solar power plant. What are they? We use solar for generating electricity, that photovoltaic cells we are using. Next thing, for heating purpose. Anything can be heated and energy can be formed. Heat is one form of energy, electricity is one form of energy. Both the things we create. Now, by using wind turbines, we only create electricity from wind turbine. So what is the general principle of this wind turbine is, you will be having wind blades. According to the height, you see from the bottom, there is a height. Not all the windmills are same. Some windmills might be 100 meter, some windmills might be 150 meter, 1.5 times higher. Like that, you have different sizes. If you increase the height, wind increase, so more power generation will be there. You will be having blades. When the wind is hitting in the blades, gearbox here, it will rotate. This is a simple terminology where the wind power is being generated, and you will be having a generator system here. When it turns, the shaft rotates and automatically the electricity is generated. So it is a renewable energy. Basically, what kind of energy you use is kinetic energy. What are the two types of energy? Potential energy and kinetic energy. Wind is called kinetic energy. Why? In the sense, wind is not stored. Wind is in movement. What you are doing is, you are generating electricity from the movement. That is why wind turbine is called what? Kinetic energy. And we generate into a mechanical energy called wind turbine. Now, according to the place where we install, the wind intensity differs. Imagine you are installing in the heart of the city. Have you seen in any heart of the city having windmills? No. We will be only keeping at the place where you don't have obstructions. There should not be wind obstructions there. Even though if you are providing windmills in a mountain, there is a leeward and windward side where the wind flows and where it crosses. So you have both the sides. Windmill has to be installed only in the place where you have abundant windfall. There should not be any obstruction. Can anyone stop the wind? Not possible. Wind flows due to uneven heating of Earth's surface. At the polar sides, North Pole and South Pole, less temperature. Now at the equator, you have high temperature. So that is the reason 0 degree centigrade and 30 degree centigrade, there is a difference in the sense, isn't it? So due to that only wind flows. Wherever there is high pressure, from there it goes to low pressure. That is the concept of wind. Nobody can stop wind. Why? Because earth is tilted. So it is an abundant energy. You don't need to depend on anything. Coal. Imagine you find the difference between coal energy. If you extract, naturally it will not form. That is the difference. So due to lift and drag force, you are getting the wind energy. Now, this is the statistics globe. Till now, what are the sources of energy we are using? 5 different countries are there. Now take India. What kind of energy does India depend on till 2024? Coal energy. So is it renewable or non-renewable? Non-renewable. We have to change the system. Now how much percentage of renewable energy we are using? Only 20%, which consists of solar, wind turbines, etc. And you see which country is responsibly spending the energy? European countries. How much energy they create? 48.7% of energy they generate is through renewable energy. Can you see the difference? Why there is a difference between developed countries and developing countries? Where we are, you see, and other countries are there. What is this? 42.6, this light yellow color, natural gas. Can you see US is dependent on 46% is natural gas. So this is profitable for the country, but not profitable for the environment. 2 times of power. See, whatever power you generate by coal, 2 times of power can be generated by natural gas. That is why it is financially beneficiary, but not beneficiary to the environment. Even US also is not that much responsible when you compare European countries. And what is the merit is? It is a renewable, no greenhouse gas, low operation and maintenance cost, energy independence. You don't need to fear that Will I going to get after 100 years or 2000 years? Yes, you will get abundantly. That is the one of the thing. Another advantage is scalability. Now if you want to install a thermal power plant, in the sense you need vast acres of land. Number of around 10 to 15 acres of land is required. But if you want to install any windmill, in the sense you just install at a place. Also you can do farming. Have you seen wherever windmills are installed, farmings are also done. So there is no obstructions. You can scale according to lesser or higher dependent upon the requirement. This is the merit. I will give a statistics on electricity generation and efficiency. Efficiency is the ratio between input power and the output power. In which power plant has highest efficiency is, you see, 95% efficiency. Water turbine. Water turbine means what? Hydro power plant. By using water, you are generating the electricity. That is called hydro power plant. You get 95% of electricity. That means for 1 liter of water, you get 0.95 liter of water into electricity. Only 5% is wasted when you compare the water. But you take nuclear power plant, they have 1 kg of uranium, only 35% efficiency, since 65% you are wasted. Only 35% of energy is being used and converted as electricity. Now what is the least? You see, solar cell is having very less efficiency. 15 to 20%, abundant, nearly 80% of solar energy is wasted. Only 20% is absorbed by the photo cell. So I have told you, photo cells are there, semiconductors. That panels what they use, that semiconductor what they use is, it does not observe 100%. It reflects. Till now we have achieved only 20% research we have to do, and the efficiency has to be increased. Now when we come to wind turbine, 35 to 40% is the efficiency. Maximum how much efficiency they can get is 50% they can get. More than that it is physically not possible. That means, say, I'll tell you an example. If wind is blowing, can you stop all the wind? You cannot stop the 100% wind and consume as energy. Some winds will blow and it will be diverted into other place. Only few winds will pass. That is around 60% will pass. Only 40% will be directed to other side. Before studying something, I should not say this is the most efficient power plant. No, there are some deficiencies. This is what I am saying. Now you can see job creations might be there when you are installing, but when you compare coal power plant, it is beneficiary. Dual land use, I have told, land can be used for wind farms also, still can be used for agriculture purpose. There is no obstruction. Technological advancement. Quick installations can be done when you compare nuclear power plant, hydroelectric power plant. If you want to install one power plant, it requires nearly 4 to 5 years to install. I am installing hydro power plant, in the sense, so what is the lifetime of hydro power plant? Sir, I am installing one time. For how much years it will last? 100 years of lifetime is hydro power plant. That is the highest lifetime of a power plant. But if you take the solar or wind power plant, sir, I am taking 5 years to construct. But for windmills, you need months. 1 month or 1.5 months is required for construction, and operation is 20 years. But you take nuclear power plant, it takes 3 to 4 years to install. Currently we have technology, 40 years. Decentralization of power, where you can need, you can install. Now demerits. The windmills are not 24 hours operable. Why? Because whenever you have wind, you have more energy generation. If you don't have, you have disadvantage. But in case of hydropower plant, does anyone interrupt? Till you have water, you can generate. Nuclear power plant, not like that. 24 hours you can operate. That is the demerit. Next thing is, you need backup. You cannot completely depend on the windmills. You need additional power plant. What are they? Solar. I have only 6 hours of high wind. What about another 18 hours? You have to depend on other power plants. So that is the disadvantage of this. Next thing is high initial cost. Large land is required. Noise pollution. Wherever you have windmills, there will be some noise and visual impact. This is the natural gas How much percentage is electricity generated? How much is wasted? This is another comparison. If you take incoming fuel, 44% of electricity is only generated by using the natural gas, 56 is lost. Coal converted only 32, rest of them is lost. Like that, nuclear power plant, only 33 is used, 67 is energy lost. So, we have not reached optimum technology, reached efficiency. Hydropower plant only we have reached the efficiency. What about other technology? Nuclear power plant has not reached. More than 50, no power plant is getting because of lack of research, because of people who are not doing projects. You students have to take this as projects, site specific. It depends on the site where you provide. Transmission challenges are there. If you are traveling for more longer place, more electricity will be lost. But if you have windmills, wherever you need electricity, you can install. Transmission challenges are there. When you keep all the windmills out of the town, when you want to supply the power for town, the transmission loss will be very high. Material use, the windmills currently what they use is rare earth elements. This is not frequently used material. The windmills are not constructed by using steel, alloys like that. They are rare earth metals. Shorter lifespan 20 to 25 years. Which state has highest transmission loss? Arunachal Pradesh. 49% is lost. See, a small calculation I will tell you. Sir, for generating electricity, nearly 100% of wind is there. Only 30% of wind creates electricity. That too, when it is transferring, there is a loss. How much percentage it lost? Half of them it is getting lost. 49%. If you generate 1 kilowatt of power, half kilowatt is wasted only due to transmission. We generate and we pollute and we are not utilizing. This is the real scenario. This is the global wind generation. China is the place where most renewable energy is generated. They generate world 60% of windmill energy is being produced in China. They are the global leaders. Next to China is US. Now this is the global status. 2.5% terawatt hour of power is being generated by solar. When you compare the windmill, how much power? 1.1 terawatt. This is gigawatt. If you divide by 1000, how much you will get? 1.1. So only 1.1 terawatt of power is being generated by windmill. That is half of solar. So we depend more on solar. Half of that we depend on the windmill. World Wind Energy Association, you have separate association for this. How much installation is being done? So they account for all the country. Now in 2024 alone, 113 gigawatts of power we have installed. The global growth is 11.5%. Geographic distributions are China making up of 68 to 72%. They generate and they are the new global power. US generates are added 4.1 to 4.2. They have added for 1 year. Then you have Germany. India's total capacity of 50 gigawatt. When you compare China, how much percentage we create? They generate 521. How much we generate? 50, 10 times lesser. And global wind installation in 2023. This is the statistics. There are two types of windmills. One is offshore and another one is onshore. What do you mean by offshore is when the windmills are installed in sea, it is called offshore. When it is installed in land, it is called onshore. Where you generate more wind power, onshore or offshore? Offshore. 151 meter. When you compare with the land, what is the maximum height? 130 meter. Can you see the difference? There are only 20 meter difference you can think. But imagine the power it generates. How much power? 5.5 megawatt it generates. But whereas in coastal area, how much? 17 megawatt. How much times it is increased? More than 3 times of generation of energy. You see, and the diameter is also higher. So when you compare the onshore and offshore, which is best? Offshore windmills are best. Why? Because you have high wind flow in seashore. You don't have any obstructions. It is free. You can generate as much as wind you want. And how much is the bulk capacity is 108 and 109 added in 2024. And global offshore platform cumulative 83 gigawatts they have done. Now I will give you a small idea how we produce power by using windmill is power produced P equal to half the times rho. Rho is called what? Density. Density of air. Now A is area, B is speed. You see who is the leading state in India. See, I have told you in global scenario. In India, Tamil Nadu is the leading state, generate how much power? 10.5. And as of now, how much capacity in India we have? It is being highlighted here, 10.5 gigawatt as of 2024. Now, future forecast, 8.1 percentage of global electricity is being contributed by the wind energy. Rest of them are, I have told you, solar, windmills, nuclear, etc.
What are the applications? If you want to install for your house a windmill, in the sense, in India 1 kilowatt power, if you want to install, so what is the approximate cost? 30,000 to 17,000 it will cost. Sir, if I want to install solar power plant, how much it will cost? 40,000 to 80,000 yearly. If you have 50,000, 1 kilowatt of power, you can directly install. So this is what customizable for every house, individual house also you can customize. So this is possible. Electricity generation, onshore and offshore wind farms you can use. First one. Next application is water pumping. Windmill is rotating, you can pump the groundwater and supply. That they used for irrigation purpose. And modern pumps. Next thing is mechanical power. For grinding purpose they are used in agriculture. Now, have you seen this? This is the latest technology. You can split water. This process is called what? Electrolysis. If you supply current in water, what you can do is you can separate hydrogen and oxygen separately. You can use it to component for desaltation. Reverse osmosis process. It requires current. Yes or no? It cannot operate without current. So, if you install the electro-osmosis plant, the power what it requires can be given by windmill. If you are in Saudi Arabia country, you have too much of sea water. All the sea water can be converted to fresh water by using this electro-osmosis process. Not only windmills are used for generating electricity, you can make fresh water by using that windmill. That is also an example. Next thing is street light and small utilities. Next thing is for remote areas and communication tower. If you are providing a communication tower, you need a power for signal. What you can install like this, windmill can be installed. Have you seen this? A ship is being completely operated by windmills. Ship needs electricity, no? Where they get electricity? Can they depend on nuclear energy, thermal energy? Not at all possible. So this is the latest technology. You can see the ships can generate electricity through this kind of windmills.
Which form of energy is converted into electrical energy in wind turbines? Kinetic. It is always moving, no? Potential energy means static. Wind will always move, that is why it is called kinetic energy. Next thing, which country has highest installed wind power capacity in world? China. Next one, the power generated by wind turbine is proportional to the answer. What is the capacity of wind energy installed in India 2024? 45 gigawatt capacity we have installed. Offshore wind farms are usually located at which place? Offshore and onshore. I have told you, no? Near sea, near coastal areas and water areas. There is two keen difference. Which of the following is disadvantage of wind energy?
The
B is what? It is intermittent in nature. What do you mean by intermittent is 24 hours you cannot depend. So sometimes wind might be there, sometimes wind might not be there. So it is called intermittent in nature. Now, which India state has highest installed wind power capacity? Tamil Nadu, yes. Next one. The efficiency of modern wind turbine is typically around efficiency. They have given you a table. In the table I have showed you what is the efficiency. 30 to 40 percentage is the efficiency. They have told 60 percentage of the wind will flow after the wind blade. That is what the answer. Only 40 percentage you can take maximum. Bits limit states that maximum possible efficiency of a wind turbine is how much? Option C is what? 59.3. The major limitation of wind energy is D. D is called intermittent and unpredictable supply. Offshore wind turbines faces what additional problem? Offshore means in sea. You should not confuse. On means land. Off in the sense sea. If you install in sea, what is the disadvantages? B. High maintenance and harsh sea conditions. It might corrode. The materials might corrode. Which type of pollution is associated with wind turbines? Noise pollution. If you are near to a windmill, you will be having a sound. That is the disadvantage of windmill. What is the total global installed wind power capacity at the end of 2024? A. Option A is right. 1.1 terawatt, that is 1100 gigawatt of capacity. Which region recorded fastest percentage of growth in wind installation in 2024? 3 point I have given. African countries, African and Middle East, they are rapidly growing. Which of the modern application uses excess wind energy to split water and hydrogen separately? They have told you one, no? A, B, C, D. B. B is called what? Electrolysis. Next one. In coastal areas, wind energy is increasingly used to support what? Option A. Option A is called what? Fresh water through desalination plant.